Testing, testing. All right. Ooh, ah. Oh, hello, Pike. That's a little boy Pike cichlid. Getting the client up and getting to the right spot, but today I'm going to be joining Iron Hall for some, I think, some horse racing and fishing tournament stuff. I'm only going to be joining for part of it. I expect they will be going for hours. I will be showing up to help get people there and also to give away some extra prizes. Maybe apply a few extra jump buffs, and then I'll do a prize at the end of the stream and get back to spending time with the fam. That's short for family. Thank you for joining me on a Saturday, though. Hold on, trying to figure out where things are. Let's see. Hey, happy to Mad Chef Azinos. Gotta say though, it was tough today to not play hooky. It is like 70 degrees exactly outside, a nice light breeze, not a cloud in the sky. Beautiful, glorious day. Uh-oh, I had some air spam show up down there at the bottom. I better check to see what that was. Well, not seeing it now. Alright, I guess I can turn off the fish. Oh, well, let's see. I'll dictate the fish. So there's this tank here. Oh, it looks like I just, somebody just fed them. All that stuff around there. This tank is the tank we have in our TV watching room. And it is a super duper budget tank. I bought it. It was a cracked acrylic, or not acrylic, plexiglass, whatever you want to call it. I guess it is acrylic. Tank that's a 5-foot long tank, 150 gallons. That had a crack in it, and it was all scratched up, and I spent one afternoon fixing it up and got it to a point where it's nearly perfect. This is now kind of the outcast tank. If you're a bad fish, if you're naughty, you don't fit in, this is the tank you come to. Except those Bolivian rams and the pikes, those guys are both awesome. The guy down there towards the bottom right is a Bolivian ram. That guy who's in front of the screen there, the long thin guy at the top, is a pike cichlid. But yeah, you can see there's some tetras in there if you know fish. Buenos Aires tetras and red-eyed tetras. Those guys are in there not because they're actually naughty, but because they are food predator extreme. They outcompete other slower fish for food, which causes problems. You end up overfeeding them to make sure that those guys, you know, the fish you want to get the food, actually get the food. Those guys are just like crazy fast all over the place. Alright, that's probably enough fish for you guys. Hey, Thori Kamara, where do I go here? Or Thoric. Zone. Oh, look, there's the Mandalar. I see somebody running around. I'm just going to go run around myself. Right after I turn off the fish camera. There we go. Saw somebody running over here. If you hear a weird slap, 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 slap sound, that is Maxine doing a jump road out in the hall. I should have done teleport too. That doesn't actually make me reload. You have a seat for the next hour. All right, well, I'm zoning to you now. Aha, I got the errors. Hold on, I gotta see what these errors are. Unable to sync spawned deco sheep. Ooh, David is working on that. That may be the thing he just tried to fix. We've got some bug fixes coming up this release for deco spawner. New coder's been working on. Oh look, I'm gonna guess this is my chair. That song's stuck in my head. Rent. That's probably a good level. All right, let me get some people here. Offering to summon people. Give me a minute. You can't see me. Well, that's no good. Well, that's not intentional. There we go. Let's see. All right, if you want to just send me a whisper and I will be summoning people. Do 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 do. I think it is horse racing. Oh, there's a few people over here. Lily Bird. Do 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 do. There's another one coming. Couple more coming. Trying to recognize the music now. Golius, why should you buy this game? Well, you shouldn't buy the game. You cannot buy the game. Most everything in the game is free. We have the normal type model. What is kind of the normal type model these days? Which is most people play for free. There's some people who are very passionate about the game, and we let them support the game. We even, to extend that even further, we do have a premium currency for buying visual stuff. And some convenience stuff, but we even made that tradable so that people who don't want to give any money, there's also ways you can earn money, premium currency in-game. But that's premium currency side of things. So why you should buy the game is it is one of the deeper role-playing games out there in terms of just a lot of different aspects. We've got a storyline that you can go through that was created by Tracy Hickman and Richard Garriott. But the game itself has a lot of unique features. It has one of the better, possibly the best decoration system and housing system out there. You can get your first house like within minutes of entering the game. You get another bigger house later on when you complete a quest. Let's see. Hold on, I gotta summon some people. I'm falling behind. The combat system is unique, and as is the lack of a class system. Other games have a lack of class system. We use a classless system where you level up skills. You earn experience, level up skills. The skills, it's use-based, kind of like Ultima Online, but we felt there were just too many problems with some of the way that works. So you earn experience going out and adventuring, similar to some other games, but then you actually level stuff up by using it, which then makes it you use the skill and it spends the experience on the skill. So it is a use-based system, but it's not one that can be exploited just by like setting a stack of pennies on a key. He's gonna do that right in front of me, isn't he? There we go. I'll look away from the bouncing guy in front of me. Oh, there's Daenerys. Let's see, but a very deep system. You can put together your own style of play. There's no specific classes. You can level up any skills. Rather than having a hard defined class, define what you can do. You can level up anything, and then we limit what you can do at any given time by the deck is usually the reference thing we call it, but by building out different combat decks which define what things you can use. Basically, it defines what things go in your toolbar, and that is really the more limiting things, how many things you can put on your toolbar. There's so much depth to that. There are tons and tons of videos on it, but there's actually ways you can do static where every icon down at the bottom is locked, just like a normal game where the button's always there and ready to go and it has cooldowns and all that stuff. You can also put together a deck that's dealt more like almost like a Magic the Gathering deck that you put together and strategize that way. What you'll find is a lot of people use a hybrid of that. Is they'll use some of the random dealt out dynamic stuff, and then they'll use some that are locked for things that they want to know. But there's lots of stuff. He doesn't. Blaze Garsink, that is actually a bug that has been around. It's been fixed like 5 times, and it keeps coming back, and it really annoys me. It's one that we can't reproduce very well locally. My belief is that it has to do with slight differences and lag, and that the lag is why I can't reproduce it. One and Only has fixed it multiple times, and it actually got much better, but it still can happen occasionally, like it just did there. And I think it has to do with him being, right on the edge of something there, but I will try and get it fixed. We've got someone on the team that is far away now, who's another programmer, so we should have a better repro system for it. I can help him repro it, or I can repro it with his help. Let's see, did I miss anybody? And Yig Endymion, I could have summoned you. As for other reasons, play the game. Again, thriving economy. There's a lot of player-to-player stuff There's a lot of huge itemization, huge crafting list, lots of high level stuff to do. Getting more, I think there's a lot of it that still needs some balance. It's kind of one of the big knocks in the game. We're actually working very hard on that right now. Let's see. You're in? Well, come give it a try. I mean, it's one of those things, we talk about it. If you don't know who I am, I've been on the team since the start with Richard and Star, but I actually took over full control of the project, and now Star and Richard help out. Richard is actually helping with the story on episode 2. Tracy Hickman wrote the book for it, which is done. People on the team have read it. I think we had Richard and we tried to put him on the spot for when it was going to be released. The book was going to be released, the next Tracy Hickman book that was related to the game. And he couldn't give us an exact date. I think it's kind of in publisher's hands at this point, but it has been done. Here's the bouncing again. He's trying to do it now. And yeah, you don't do it on your screen. It seems to be when you get into this. My other thought is we have a system here that actually locally does this thing. See how I've got the IK going on with my foot? 1 foot up, 1 foot down. That was my other thought, is this might be something that happens with that, where locally he's saying I'm here, but on my screen it ends up being different just due to some minor IK differences. We'll fix that bug. But let's see. But yeah, we actually really do. I have been pushing a lot since I took over, pushing a lot to reduce the feeling that it's a game about you got to spend a lot of money to play. Most people in game, probably 90% of the people, never spend a penny. A lot of them do get premium currency. We do also have a monthly subscription. We don't call it that, but it is. There's another person trying to do it exactly the same way. But you can get crowns from that. You get monthly crowns. You get a prize or gifts every month. But anyways, give it a try. It's I will warn you, I actually posted a video on this recently. We finally had somebody who actually gave the game a lengthy review, a lengthy trial. We've had a lot of people who tried for an hour and quit and do not give it a great review. If you play for an hour on any MMO, you're never going to, some may suck in. We do not have a good starting experience. Our starting experience is actually pretty bad, I would say. And it's one of those things that's really tough to fix. It's kind of the general problem is the more complex a game gets, the tougher it is to introduce people to stuff. So it really would be just a huge fire hose of information. Hold on, I'm trying to make sure I haven't missed any tells. Fire hose of information if we try to tell you everything up front. And I think we do a pretty poor job introducing the game. If you stick with it a couple hours, you really will start to understand it and love it. I think getting some other players to help or watching a few videos helps a lot. But that is kind of one of those things that probably turns off a lot of players, is our intro is not great. And we have been doing some improvements on it, but still a lot to go. And let's see, I need to do some prizes for these guys too. Also, one of the things is we have an amazing community. Some players who've been with the game for a long time. Community events like what we're watching right here. The devs actually get involved as much as they can. I try not to push other devs. I will try and show up. I usually do one event a weekend. But this weekend I was coming here. I've streamed the last couple of Friday streams from Iron Hall. And thought it was a great layout for a town and tried to raise a little awareness, trying to get a few people in here because I know they have some. I streamed yesterday in, what was it? Lightbringer Isle. That was another one that's a new town that they just set up, and they have like everything in it is super cool and perfect, and the walls. Can't believe what a great job they did with the walls and laying things out. Man, it's a lot of work. That's one of those things too. If you really get into the game, we have other things where you can spend some money. And again, some people do it because they want the features. Most people do it, I think, because they want to support the team, support the game, so we can continue expanding things. We have I guess another thing to sell you on, I know you already said you're going to try it, but another thing to sell you on is we're pretty good, even though we're a small team. We are 99.9% uptime. We actually had one of our 4 node servers crash recently. Had a little bit of downtime, but back up, and don't expect any problems for another year or so, which is about how often we have some problems. We've never lost data. We're really good on making sure there's no data. We've never had dupe bugs in the game explode the economy. We've never had to do a rollback. I take that back. We had one time when we did a release, and like 5 minutes after we opened the game for the release, we were like, oh crap, we forgot to apply data config change, and we rolled back 5 minutes. So we did have one rollback for 5 minutes right after we opened a release a little bit early. So Atticus Griffin Hart says, where is Iron Hall? I honestly don't know. Maybe somebody can tell me. I can probably go look it up on a map and find it for you. Maybe somebody in here will announce where it is. It's in Norgard, near Skrek. Ah, okay, cool. Northwest of Esgard. Got it. Hold on, I'm going to go rebroadcast. There we go. See if I can get a few more people over here. Thoric O'Mara was asking if I can do the pretty weather. Absolutely. I think I have a set game time. I have a way to set time, but I don't think it changes it for you guys. I think at one point we did have it change, and it was causing too many weird problems by setting game time on the server. So yeah, I wish I had a way I could force the game time to always be daytime, but no, I can override the weather, and that doesn't cause a problem. But when we had the set time, too many problems, like people's crops rotting instantly and stuff like that, as you might imagine. So yeah, I wish we had a way to lock the skybox. I guess I can add that in. That's something I can do, is just force the skybox to a certain time. B Striker coming up, buddy. Summon. Belladonna, summon. Pax LLTS, summon. I am not planning on joining as a racer. I would have to cheat to be competitive. Dr. L, howdy. Nice to see you again. It's been so long. New Tree. Okay, looks like that guy found his way. Sorry, I'm sitting here summoning people and trying to reply in chats. New Tree is one of the things we've talked about. I doubt it's going to make the talk. I think we've got some other stuff that'll be coming online for the talk. We'll see how it goes. But New Tree is planned. That is a entirely new tree that is... I forget what we've told people about it and what stuff we haven't told people. It's related to more of a Kobold technology tree. Just imagine that if it were a magic tree, but also kind of based on Kobold technology and Kobold weapons and Kobold stuff. It's not actually Kobold stuff, but it is steampunkish type stuff. So we do not have an ETA. We had talked about, we already have so much stuff going on. I think new programmer is going to be redoing a bunch of UI for the next talk, the 5-6 week away release. And so it'd probably make the talk after that. This release, obviously I've been focusing a lot on some balance issues, some bugs, and expanding the rise slightly. And for the rise, just as I did the last time, as I go through, whenever I go through and work on level stuff, I frequently get in there and ask the level designers, ask Sanyo and Travis and Damon and guys, like, how do you, I want to do a thing, like something as simple as, I want to have a bridge that only appears after you kill, only if all of these creatures are dead. And asking how to do that, and then getting the reply of, you can do that, here's how you do it, and it's 27 steps, and you have to fake a wave battle, and then you have a perk that comes after the wave battle that turns on a thing, and so anyway, so it's some of these things, they're in there, and apparently designers have been dealing with it and making do, but sometimes it's 10 times as complicated as it should. So basically doing a lot of work to simplify some of that stuff. So I actually have something now where I can just say, hey, is the guy that this spawner spawns dead or alive? If so, based on that, turn on, enable this, that, or the other thing. It's one of my dojo loaches in there. Going nuts. Splashing water out. Oh, that's a good question there. The Demon Chaos Bolt's supposed to scale with level. It absolutely should scale with level. I bet it does not. I bet it's really old and it's been hard-coded, so it doesn't factor in the Demon's level. And yes, I'm live streaming. I'm only slightly paying attention to stuff around me because I got so many distractions going on here. Oh, Mondravian Meat Shield. I'm going to cheer for him just because I like his name. And I can go look at my questions now, I guess. For those wondering, I will be doing prizes. Let me go ahead and turn on the prize thing there. I'm not even sure what I'm going to give away. Let me figure out what I'm going to give away first. I did have some good news. I've been running some ads, and I turned up how much we're spending on ads, just because we were doing pretty well on a few weeks and had some extra buffer there, so I decided to spend a little extra on ads to try out some stuff, and finding some better ways to draw people in for a much lower rate. But yeah, that's very happy with things, so I'll probably turn that up some more, turn it up to try to attract, not sure how many, but shooting for attracting 200 users a day. We'll see how it goes. The current level I had it was attracting about 40 extra users a day, so we'll see if it scales. $108,000 crowns? What? Let's see. Oh, there's a conversationalist dragon. That's been fixed now. Let's see. Oh, to the guy who was here who was like, sure, I'll try it. We have, again, I talked about, we have like tons of things hardly documented well in-game. Tons of documentation outside, but a lot of it is just, some of you have to figure out. We actually have a system where you can write, you can have NPCs, you can write your own dialogue for them. We have free ones too, but then some of the cooler ones are some of the purchased ones, like having a conversationalist dragon. But you can have normal conversationalists like dudes without paying for them. I think the other thing is if you buy one, they can have longer conversations. But it uses a system called Inky that you can use, and there's actually an external out-of-game tool that you can use to create the dialogue trees for them. So yeah, how about that? We'll do, at the end of the stream, I'll give away not one, but 2 conversationalist blue dragons. Bam. Oh, you were saying 106,000 prize. I was going to give that away. But no, I will give Thoric some extra prize money here. Belladonna would be nice if they work. Which ones don't work? Is there one that doesn't work? Are you talking about an Inky? Oh, the prize. Let me put the prize thing up. No, not Spring is Sprung. Don't annoy people with that stuff. Let me get chat up here. Not that one. Hold on. We'll do this one where we do the prize thing. If I can find the prize thing. Giveaway. There it is. Yellow one won't stay in place. That I believe. If you go on QA, you could probably ought to try it on QA. We've got a bunch of fixes on QA. Some for the conversationalists, some for the just echo NPCs, and then also if you go in your dungeons, I just had someone write me to tell me that they were shocked that I actually fixed the dungeons. That's another one for the guy who was out there who was like, why should I play this? Conversationalist, hold on. Dragon. ×2. Now go. Okay, now it's open. Now you can do the raffle. Raffle to join. And we got a Moldy Potato, Revenant 84, the Sometimes Lurker, Radicus 2K, and Beast Striker were the first 5. Congratulations, guys. Fastest 5 fingers. To the guy who was like, why should I play this? Again, as I talk about, like, we have, you know, there's tons of feature and tons of depths. We don't give you a ton of information, and you kind of have to dig a little bit, but if you dig, there's a lot of features in the game worth playing with. One of the more popular features we added about a year ago was you can have player-built dungeons. So you can have your own lot, your own house, and then on your house you can actually put an entrance to a dungeon or a basement. Dungeon and a basement. The basement you actually, or the dungeon you actually build out with pieces. The pieces are largely pieces you find in game and then craft yourself. Collect, you know, granite and stuff and recipes and build out the pieces themselves. So you can build out hallways, build out rooms. You can build out encounter rooms that actually have creatures in them. Oh, I'm falling behind on my job. Hold on. But anyways, there's, again, I mentioned it, but there's just a ton of depth to things you can do in-game. Most things you can do for free. Almost everything you can do for free. I mean, the limit to stuff you can't do. I think the only thing you can't do for free is own your own town. Which, if you own your own town, you get to be governor of a town. That's what Thoric has done here. And those are guys that really do help support us and help the team keep growing and adding features and making a better game. But most other stuff, the only difference is, like I mentioned, like you can do all the conversationalists, and then the ones you pay for might have different visuals to them. Or you can do dungeons, but if you want to have a green marble dungeon room, you gotta, you know, that's the type of stuff. I think there's one where it's actually like, there's a train car you can ride around in your own dungeon room, so. Alright, now we're getting some people out here. Let's see. So this is the, I guess, the in-game equivalent to March Madness. That's probably what I would be doing if I weren't here. I'm a bit of a basketball fan. But I'm a Longhorns fan. Austin guy, obviously, a Longhorns fan. And we do not play until late tonight, so I'll probably be missing that one. Oh, and the giveaway I'll be doing right around, I'll probably call it a day of around 5. I know this event won't be over, but I will probably call it a day around 5. Let me see if I have some stuff here to give. Let me whisper to this guy. Do, 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 do. Let's see. Trying to figure out what I should get. What do you guys think I should add into the prize total there? Village. Oh no, don't think I can do a Cloud Imperium. That's a little too big. Actually, it's more of a too limited, too restricted. No, you're not getting an airship. A wizard home? Do you guys see anything there? Yeah, I could do something horsey. Oh, I could do a barn. How about I could do a barn and a village? A city lot deed, really. There's Lord of the Isle. Let's see, how about, do I have any, I could do a tax-free village lot deed, and a barn, and then a horse. How about that? We'll do that. Tax-free village lot, place anywhere, that's pretty desirable, and it's tradable. Barn. Let's see, do I have a horse? That's just the basic one. I should probably get some better horses. Let's see. Trying to think what else I might be able to throw in there. Yeah, we'll do that for now. I'll throw in some more stuff here in a bit. So I'm going to revise my trade. Add in some crowns. Do, 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 do. There we go. That should do it for now. I'm a Shroud playing economic grad who has become a crypto rich and trades daily. I know how to spit a ton about crypto. Could help Soda gain a new revenue stream. You know, that's one of those things we talked about early on in development of the project, is what we wanted a revenue stream to be. And we actually at one point were looking at doing, you run the client and then it has, like in the background, it uses the extra horsepower for crypto mining stuff. And I think a few other things came out that did that and got really bad press, and we tried to avoid doing that. We actually, along the way, also we were part of, Richard was part of a cryptocurrency for specifically for computer game stuff being spun up. And I honestly don't know what all happened with that. Thoric says, any way to help you with a present draw? I don't really have a way. Only if it's in-game, or only if it's in my live stream. He could do... Oh, you know what? How about this? If you want people... I'm not sure how you want it, but you can tell people here however you want to. I will go edit the script for the prize drawing to change the phrase on it. And then I can draw through that. So you can have people in-game say whatever phrase. So tell me the phrase you want. You can whisper it to me, Thoric. Whisper the phrase you want them to have to say in-game. I'll go over, edit the script, paste that in for the prizing, and then I can go pull that, and you can have prizes that way, and I'll draw the prizes for you. Whoa. Now keep in mind, I'm only planning, I'll be here another 45 minutes, so if it's going to be at the end, I won't be able to help. But if you want to do that, I can absolutely do that. I don't know if you're listening or not, though. I like your phrase. I will not say it out loud in case you want to share it only with people who are in the town. And give me 1 minute here to go edit stuff for you guys, and then I'll be right back. Also, the guy who was asking about, you know, why to play the game. Again, this is one of those things you get with we're not a big MMO. You know, we would like to be a little bigger, obviously. I would love to be, you know, 2 times, 5 times as big as we are right now, but we've never intended on being something big. We do have the servers set up, so they are set up to handle in the tens of thousands concurrency. We are not there. I will point out, if you look on Steam and you're playing through Steam, the numbers reported on Steam are only the people who play on Steam, and only about 1/5 of the players play through Steam. So most people play using our own patcher client, which is... I think some people do it just because they don't like Steam. Not everybody has Steam. Some people think Steam's evil. But also, a lot of people have learned, even some of the Steam players switch over to use our client after a while, because our patches are smaller. Steam does they use some delta patching, but their delta patching is, let's look at a file, did it change? If the file changed, we're going to reload the whole thing. We actually use a delta system, that delta being differences, it looks for the differences in the files, but we use a delta patching system that it can go through, and it can take like a 100 meg patch or 100 meg file. If we change 50 bytes in the middle, it generates a 50 byte patch. It's a little bigger than that, but it's pretty close to that. So it actually can go in and do that level patching. So a lot of times we'll patch stuff out, and our patch will be, 2 megs, 2.3 megs, and you go over to Steam and it's a 2 gig patch, because if we touch any file, they end up patching it. So, oh, but yeah, as a small market game, you get this type of stuff where devs will come in and talk to you guys, and we do a Friday stream every Friday. I'm on for at least an hour, hour and a half stream, and we talk to you about things. We take questions. I take feedback. Sometimes I'll take bugs, and if people have bugs that are annoying them, I'll try and go fix them. We do have plenty of bugs, I'm afraid. We are getting better about it. We took a turn a while back, about 6 months ago. We were really trying to push heavy for new features, and here's all the stuff, and let's hurry up and cram out episode 2 and do some of this other stuff. And decided, just after looking at things, the things upsetting people is we have a ton of great systems. We have a ton of things there. The things that are upsetting people are bugs and balance. And so we wanted to just take a step back, and so we're kind of, the first half of this year practically, we're just looking at fixing bugs, improving performance, and working on balance for the game. So it's a good time to come in. You're going to get to see lots of bugs get fixed. You've got time to learn the game before a bunch of new systems come online. Alright, getting that prizing updated. Give me 1 minute here. Alright, that has been updated, so we now have the new phrase in there. I didn't notice if you told people, but I will let you tell people. You can tell people however you want to. Thoric, hopefully you're there and listening. And also, sorry, I'm chatting with Thoric here. Private. Alright, I'm going to run a quick test just to make sure it's working. Oh, and let me go tell Lainey not to give away prizes to these people. And I will try to get to some questions here. Hey, it looks like it worked. If this had been an actual prize drawing, looks like... let me make sure these guys are here. Yep, that looks like it's working. All right. So I think we're pretty close to things starting here. Oh, looks like it's getting close. Sorry, I'm trying to read the chat over here too. I can hit some questions there. Let me go find those guys. In case you hadn't figured it out yet, if you do the question thing, if you're new to the stream and you do the question thing, then you will, it will add a question to my log over here and I can go read up on it. Answer it at my leisure. That's just so I don't have to try and find stuff. Oh, I think it's about to begin here. Should I try and follow along? Here we go. I'm not sure what the culling is going to do. There's some wonkiness with this GM slew. Here we go. Racers are on their way. They might vanish. Oh, I knew they'd vanish for me. Look, I can follow their names. Oh no, I'm not going to be able to follow them all the way without using GM cheat or without actually being there. The when you do this slew stuff, it doesn't actually load the stuff out there. Oh. I wonder if they're going to be doing multiple laps. Yeah, for those people wondering about the raffle, I'll be giving away 2 Dragon Inky NPCs. They're the guys that you can write dialogue for in an external tool. You can Google Inky Shroud of the Avatar probably and find it pretty easily. But it is, you can write dialogue trees so you can have your own talking dragon that players you can put on your lot. But I'll be giving those away at the end. The only thing you have to do is you have to follow. You don't have to be a subscriber. You do have to follow, so only requirement. Oh. Go Riders! Oh, I see somebody's off the track. Somebody's off the track. I think there were more riders than that that started out. I didn't notice how many made it through there, but I thought it was only 3 made it through there. Maybe it was 4. Do, 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 do. Hide that thing. I don't think that hides it for anybody but me. It's just doing that so I didn't have the smoke in my face. Come on, riders. A moldy potato. Which mount bug? What mount bug? I think we talked about this on the stream, but the guy who did the mount stuff is one and only, who is amazing, but he actually is one of 2 people on the team who just had their wife pass away suddenly, which I know is crazy to have that, not 1 but 2 people who are not, you know, we're talking 30-year-old, 40-year-old type people. But he actually had taken a break from life for a little while, but he actually just this last week came back and said, what do you want me to do? We'd been saving mount bugs for him, so if you let me know which mount bug it is that you're hating on right now, I will pass that along to him, because he was asking for what stuff he could do for us, and I will get him working on that. I just had Lurghoif Highlander ask, he may not be in stream here, if the prizes for yesterday were sent out. No, Lainey is actually out of town for the weekend. I think she got vaccinated and is enjoying going and doing something away from home for a change. She will be sending them out tomorrow, I believe. So if you got won a prize yesterday, it'll be sent out tomorrow. Okay, you're apparently watching. Groovy. I was just about to reply to you and tell you. Yeah, it'll go out tomorrow. Wow, how is he taking damage? Oh, he must have, is he using the shield? We've got the shield of the Wicked King. I'm trying to remember if that gives you... Oh, he's probably using the, whatchamacallit, Berserker mode. I don't know all of your hacks for making yourselves go faster on horses. I'm guessing you guys jump off occasionally, jump back in. And no, I don't know horses. The only real horse racing I've seen is from My Fair Lady. Move your bloomin' ass! Alright. Woo! Rick says Yig Mond Thurden. I guess I should be clapping. Do 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 do. Yeah, I should have been, I could have checked their speed when they were going by here and tell them how fast they were going. Oh, crud, I'm too slow. That pulls up their stats as they run by. I can see what their speed is. Pretty fast, though. We've looked at some of these, and effective rate as some of these guys are going, if it were actually to scale, is pretty close to 60 miles an hour, which makes our lead artist cry, because he's always trying to do animations and trying to figure out how to make stuff look right. It's really hard to animate an animal or a person running at 45 or 60 miles an hour. All right, I'm going to jump in and do some questions there. And actually, I'll get down here. This will look better if I go down and do it. There we go. Now they'll come right at. He's coming right at me. They'll come right at us now. Okay, I'm going to run through and answer some questions quick. Let's see. Dysynthetic asking some good questions here. When can we do something crazy like permanently destroy XP for some cool benefits? That's actually one of the things we're looking at. Again, as we know, some people have, they're happy with where they are for XP and they are fine spending some. It's one of those things I think, oh, yeah, look, here we go. Oh, it's so fast. One of the things that we're actually looking at is, again, as we try to deal with things like, the game's been live for a long time and trying to make sure that there's not inflation in XP. And, some of these people, 10,000, 12,000 hours of playtime where they're actually, have actually been adventuring, for 12,000 or 14,000 hours and looking for things to do. So one of the things we're going to be adding is a crafting item, most likely. It may be used for a number of different things. It'll probably be used in some powerful consumables. But basically, the idea of having... I don't think we have a name set for it. I think we're calling it, referring to it like as a soul gem or something like that. But that may be a ripoff of another game. I'm trying to remember what some other games have for similar stuff. But basically, you'll be able to craft something that will drain... roughly 1 million experience points, and with that thing that that soul gem that you've crafted or created will be can be used for consumables or for crafting into things. So basically, you're taking experience and spending experience, and again, this is to help with make it feel like there's a reason to go out and adventure. Some of these people, people like creating the economy. Some people like going out, and they would love going out if I can go out and make, play well for an hour and make 5 soul gems out of it, and I can go sell those soul gems, for 20,000 gold each, and use that to buy some crowns to, upgrade my lot. People would love that type of stuff. Again, just always pushing the economy. Spirit runes, soul glyph. You guys are coming up with stuff. Shroud seems more appropriate. Soul phylactery. Oh, you guys are great. Spiritual crystal. That's good. Soul gems in Skyrim for enchanting. Elder Scrolls equals soul gem. I have played Elder Scrolls a little bit. I don't think that's where I got it from. I was thinking of EverQuest has similar things too. But anyways, Virtue Husk. The lacy so account bound. We try not to account bind anything. We have not set any hard rules for these things. It's also one of those things when we start talking about stuff for crafting, having a thing. We don't force everybody to craft, and so we don't want to limit who can use it. If we have them, it'll probably be something that other people do. You can't take this gem and turn it back into experience. The idea though was you'd be able to take it and make, obsidian potion quality potions out of these things, and this would be one of the ingredients in it. So some of it could be, they would have different effects obviously, but down here, winners of the race. Let's see. The Lace of Doom. So the idea again is that these will be the ones for 1 million are things that will use like 1 million experience gem type thing. Will be things that will be consumable. So those will be removing them from the games for not long-term stuff. Then having crafted items that maybe will use 10 of these things, or possibly more would be another one. That's another one of the things that's been talked about. One of the big requests is players always want to have a way to undo something, and that maybe that's something that we roll into how you undo an enchantment or undo something in crafting. It's Lacedaemonian. Oh, Thoric nearly fell to his death. Hold on, I gotta scroll back and make sure I didn't miss any whispers. Actually, I'm gonna set up a tab just for people whispering to me. Whew. Oops, a little too much. The other thing that was talked about with these things would be the other thing that would be a to help with inflation on experience, help pull some of those experience out for some of you guys who have, you know, billions of experience. At least a couple billion experience, is the next round of skills. We're probably going to have this one more skill tree, but the thing after that is probably going to be a perk system. Before we add another tree after that, we will be adding a perk system, which will be more of a, you basically just purchase perks, and those things will be in the, you know, millions of experience points probably to perks or purchase simple perks. These will be some for convenience, some for power, but there's a couple of these systems out there, but it'll be for simple stuff. But it'll be probably more of, you know, it might be easier. We probably will have some things where you can purchase some stats in those as well. But it'll be on the order of, like, you know, for 1,000,000 experience points, purchase an extra point of any resist you want. Hold on, I'm trying to watch stuff out there. We'll talk more about the perk system when we get a little bit closer to it. Right now I'm going to do some more questions. Alright, I just got the okay to do the drawing. You guys ready? Doing the prizing, not the raffle drawing. Hold on. Woo. GM bug. Hold on, communicating with Thoric. About first, second, and third place. Let me get these over, and then I will announce them here as well. All right, I'll go ahead and announce these here. I expect Thoric will announce in-game. But we have, so I'll be spoiling some of this because he probably will not announce them before I finish telling you this. But for first place, we have Jolene Sedai. Congratulations, Sadine. This is not the raffle. I will be drawing the raffle here soon. If you do raffle and it doesn't give you a message, That is because you're already in the raffle. Second place, and let me check what the prizes were for this. First place is for the tax-free Place Anywhere Village Deed. That went to, again, to Jolene Sedai. Second place is for, let's see, second place goes to Blaze Garsink, and that is for the barn. That is a barn to put your horses in. Third place goes to Duncan McLeod, and that is 3,000 crowns. Congratulations, guys. All right. Congratulations to all winners. I agree. I've given the prizes to Thorix. I'll let him deal them out. Sometimes people, maybe they might not be insane, so I'll leave it to him. He'll probably mail them out. But again, Jolene first, Blaze Garsink second, and Duncan McLeod third. Congratulations, guys. And I will be doing my drawing here in just a little while for the 2 dragons. Hold on, responding to someone. Let's see. All right, let me check, see if there's any messages over here. Nope. All right. Let me go back and do a few more questions here. And actually, let me get back over here to this stuff. Fishing has started. All right, let me get back over here and do some more questions. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Lots of stuff around there. I'm a horrible streamer, by the way. I'm not one of those guys who does 3 things at once and plays the game while fighting and all that stuff. Let's see. Bane Rampage Goods. Any chance of getting a pet window to display pet stats? That is actually the first thing that's going to be happening. For the UI, we actually have a programmer who is hired specifically for redoing a bunch of our UI, for those who didn't know. He is keeping his identity secret. He apparently is sucking at that, though, as it seems half the people in the game know who it is. I will refer to him as David. But anyways, he is specifically working on the first thing that's going to be happening is the UI on the left. The UI over here. The bars are this whole UI is going to be redone. So your party bars, with a few goals in mind. One is dramatically increase performance in high stress situations. It is the biggest performance drain on the game in big party combat situations. I know that's surprising, but the UI does not handle lots of little stuff going on well. Yes, we do use atlases and minimize draw calls and all that stuff. There's just a lot of crazy, weird, bad sorting stuff that shouldn't have to happen, but does have to happen. But we'll be moving away from the old UI system we have to the new Unity UI that he's very familiar with. But that is... Well, someone doesn't know who it is. That's good. But that's one thing. But then also redoing the character sheet UI will probably be the next thing. We have a character sheet, in case you're not familiar with it, that minimizes the stuff there. It does have like the basic stuff, but it's kind of really made to be more of an old school MMO feel and look to it, where it doesn't tell you hardly any information. We actually have some players who've used our Lua code, and I have functions in there so you can interrogate your character and stats and all that type stuff. They've actually written stuff that displays stuff that looks something like, not too far off from that, where it's showing you all of your stats, or at least many of your stats. There's a lot of stats out there. But anyways, he's going to be working on that UI as well. That'll probably come after that, so we can get more information into this thing, make it less of a... Why is my Dex 1? Oh, I'm super overloaded. But make it more of a modern give you lots of information, tell you your attunements and your, resist. This is really just telling you damage resist, which, is one of the less important skills. But anyways, that's going to be the first thing he's working on. Is the bar over here at the left is #1 priority. Character sheet will be #2. And probably creature character sheet, so you can actually get some information on your creature, would be up there too. Let's see. And if anybody needs me in game, if you need me for something in game, just whisper me. Because I'm distracted a million different places here. Let's see. Can you talk at all about the new sources of spell crit damage? Right now, I'm not sure if there are any in there. I am definitely putting one in for one of the items that drops in the new section of the Rise. If you didn't know, I am adding a section. We'll see how big it ends up being. I expect it'll be at least 3 or 4 rooms. I might be able to cram a few more in. I'm trying to make each one a little bit of meaning, being comparable to something else like one of the other rooms you think of in the Rise. And I've been spending most of my time on balance and bugs. And this was a fairly short release. This is a 4-week release, and I started off the release with losing a week to fun server stuff. So for me, it's been a shorter release than I wanted. But I do have some of the stuff in the Rise going. I will have some more rooms in it. I'll try to get that in for testing. Probably only get a little bit of testing. But I'm planning on having at least one item drop in there that will add the spell crit stat. For those who don't know, we've got some new stats going in. There's actually been a few that were in there. There was at least one that was in there that showed as a stat, but it wasn't actually ever hooked up spell crit stuff. So there'll be more of that going in. Maldivacon Twitch TV. How many people get Bard spec? I don't know. Once in a while I'll go and pull the stats for everybody. It gets a little unwieldy to manage, not because it's unwieldy on our side, but pulling stats, I basically have a thing that pulls all the stats from every character in the game, and then sort that in a giant spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet gets unwieldy. I need to go and have it only maybe pull out everybody who hasn't played in a certain amount of time, or only people above a certain level. Yeah, I need to go pull some of the stats. I have not looked lately. Bard was one of the more popular ones, but again, as I continue to do things, change up things on Bards, sometimes fix bugs or fix balance things, some people move out of it. Bard has been left in the 100% return on Unlearn, just because it has been in a greater state of flux than most other things in the game. But we're getting close to the point where I'll probably turn that off. Maybe this next release I'll turn it off. It's not going to change too much this next release, and it's getting pretty close on balance. So, but no, I'm not sure. I know that there were quite a few. The Sometime Lurker was asking about the Demon Chaos Bolt scale up with level. Yeah, that's a bug. I will actually add that to my list of things here to fix from the stream. That's a pretty easy one to fix. I think it is just an old one. An old summon creature that doesn't have some of the new functions. It's probably using the wrong thing for calculating its damage, and it's not scaling up. So yes, I will get that in there, and yeah, that should totally be something that scales up with its intelligence and level. Let's see. Speaking of the Lesser Demon, could the glyph description be fixed? Oh, I didn't know that the glyph description was broken. I will look into that too. Seva Ava, the Earth spell Torpor and Root do not just deny movement as mentioned in the description. These spells mesmerize you. No action possible. Is it expected? I think they don't actually mesmerize you. I think they're doing an unbreakable stun. We actually have some stuff in there that we don't really expose that much. It doesn't get used that much. But it's basically a stun that you can't get out of, which feels like a mesmerize. The difference being that if you take damage from a mesmerize, it breaks the mes. If you take damage from an unbreakable stun, it does not break the unbreakable stun. So yeah, so there's some weird magic going on there. That is intentional. It's not intended to just be a root, I think. But that is one of the spells that needs a lot more love. It actually got some love here recently where it leaves some stats on you. That was feedback from people, feedback on a stream, I think. That was changed. But yeah, that probably does need some more love, because I continue to watch the charts for the top 25 used skills and bottom 25 used skills, and that one is usually in the bottom 25 skills. Let's see. Lord J.J. Oliver, how do I get a lot larger than a city lot? I want to add a castle or keep size to the town I just bought. I'm not sure I've ever seen one in the Kodo store. Will they ever be added? There's some things that we have not added due to promises that were made years ago before I took over the project. Some of those will probably... We've said that we've got kind of a 2-year time limit on stuff that people in the past promised that we'll be protecting, but there's some of those things where I really, as much as I love the guys I worked with earlier, one of the things I didn't like was that some decisions were made that made some content dead content. By that I mean it's content that a lot of people would like, but due to some, like, we're never doing this again promise made, possibly while drunk, I would also be one of those drunk people, though. I'm not calling someone else on the team a drunk. I was probably the drunkest of the group if we were doing drinking. But a promise was made that we would never add one particular thing again. And there's, like, some of it's like even like lot types and things like that are wacky. So those are things that we're going to be reevaluating. But I think there is a way right now you can get a deed and you can upgrade a deed. I know there might have been some holes in the upgrade path, but I thought you could upgrade to a keep or a castle. But yeah, that's the Kodo upgrade exists, and that's also, the Kodo upgrades are generally a little cheaper just because you can buy Kodos on sale, like now. Like we're calling it the St. Patrick's Day sale, but it's actually the My Daughter is Amazing and Just Turned 7 sale. Her birthday is also on St. Patrick's Day, so it's a little more of a celebration around here than most places. But we're having the Maxine Turned 7 sale going on right now. Yeah, I think you can do the Kodo upgrades in game. If there's a missing path, that's one of the things that Elgarion had started looking at. He knew that there were some missing upgrade paths that we need to add some. If you have one of those, let me know. But yeah, you should be able to upgrade with crowns in game. Your daughter turning 7 enticed me to buy the perfect. That's what I like hearing. She'll be so happy. And she does run in and jump on the stream occasionally. She hasn't done it today because I have the door shut. She was jumping in a bit too much yesterday. A little too excited for Friday. Let's see. The Sometimes Lurker. Where are the Chaos Gems for raising attunement? Oh, I don't know. I have no idea on those things. Let's see. I actually don't know. I do know we've just about settled. We talked about it yesterday, in case you missed the stream yesterday, just for the quick summary. Elgarion, also known as Rick. Chaos has no attunement gem. Okay. So that sounds like a missing one we should probably add. Chaos gem should cause experience. But Elgarion yesterday talked about it, but we talked through the last few things. Something I've been pitching for a while is the idea of being able to salvage artifacts and basically get a mossy handle out of them. For those who don't know, mossy handle is one of those unique rare things that drops out there that can then be used in crafting, but it's kind of a rare, you can get one by salvaging an item. Basically doing the same thing for all artifacts. So all artifacts will have, you can salvage them and you'll get a unique piece out of them that can then be used for crafting and other stuff. This can be helpful for tearing down something that's been beat down so many times it's expensive to repair or can't be repaired. But it will be a element that can be used for crafting other stuff. The chance to get one, just like the mossy handle, it's a rare type thing, but the chance to get one will be based on the level of it. So basically, if you have an epic item, it's epic, right? I always get epic and legendary confused. Epic item, if you have an epic item, the highest level, it'll be 100%. You salvage it, you get it every time. If you have a legendary item, you salvage it, you'll get it 25% of the time. If you have a rare version of it, you'll salvage it, you'll get it 6.125% of the time. And if you have an uncommon, then 1.5% of the time you'll get it. So again, but yes, do not salvage your stuff now, by the way. You'll be sad if you salvage your stuff now. Currently, you just get the gems out of it. But anyways, those things will be, but that'll give you a way if you want to. Again, you're out adventuring, you've got your choices. I know there's some people out there who don't like the RNG rule, but you can be out adventuring, pick up a couple artifacts, immediately go and salvage them and see what you got. A little bit of a lottery system there. Coswald Dirthmire. There will probably not be a tier above epic. There may be items that are more powerful above epic. There's actually been a couple of talks on how to manage that. We want to, going forward, now that I kind of have a full-time designer type person who's managing stuff, loves spreadsheet, and is actually insanely good at just mass working through a bunch of stuff. That would be Elgarion. He's actually taken over a lot of that stuff. He's going to actually go and try and do a balance pass on some of the artifact stuff and get those things to be a little more intelligent and meaningful. There's some of them that are trash, and he's going to try to make them not so trash. There's some that are little OP, and he'll make them a little less OP. Yeah, so he's going to be managing that. We don't expect to have something above epic. Now, what we do expect to have is some ways to use, possibly through the soul gems, whatever you want to call them, we were talking about earlier. Some of those things, ways that you can use those in crafting, and maybe, with an item, put 100 soul gems into it or something, crazy like that, and beef it up a little bit more. So probably not anything above epic, but epic, soul, enchanted, or whatever you want to call it, would be something that's possible. Uniques, Necronaut. There's actually, right now, there's one unique in the game, I think. And I'm trying to remember who has it, but there's a Swashbuckler's Cutlass, a special Swashbuckler's Cutlass that someone who runs Blood Bay has. And I'm trying to remember who it is. I don't remember if it's Rada Torment or somebody else, but I think it's somebody who, I'm not even sure if they play anymore, but there is at least one unique out there. That would be another one to add in there. We want to make sure that we give those things out when we do add uniques. It is very meaningful and rare. Coswald Dirthmire, hang out in high XP dungeon rooms. So that could be one. Yeah, I know the concern is the making gems, for with alts and making them something that you monetize on. Now, how people get the experience, it's one we've got to think about. There's a lot of these things like, do we make stuff if you want to is soul enchanted or whatever? Do we make that so it's soul bound, non-tradable, account bound? Yeah, we try to shy away from account bound, but yeah, maybe that is one that we do need to sit there. Well, if we do it account bound, you're still going to have alts in there creating the thing. We have to do it character bound if we want people to not use some wonky trick like that. Only for you. Cannot do it any other way. So that's not going to be this talk. Probably not even next talk. That's one of those things that we're talking about it. And just like with the salvaging of artifacts, once it gets significant traction on the team, it'll happen. The salvaging of artifacts, I'm not sure what the timeline is. I expect that to be probably not this talk. It might be this talk. Elgarion, again, amazes me sometimes. But it'll probably be, if not this talk, the next talk for all the artifact salvaging stuff. We'll see. We just got a final design for things, but actually pretty excited about that. I get back to a few more questions here. Let me see if I've missed any tells. I don't think I have. I do a few more questions, and I'm going to do my prizing, and then I'm going to go spend some time with that amazing 7-year-old of mine. As for, I'm sure there's some people out there wondering what's going to happen with Shield of Air. I wish I knew. I can tell you what will probably happen to it for this release. For this release, I will probably be rolling back the change that locks the focus, so you regen focus slowly, and everything makes you regain focus slowly with Shield of Air. That one feels a little too painful. The thing that will probably go in for this release is just a minor tweak, which is the math is the power is based on your skill level plus your dex over 5 currently. Just the simple change of your skill level plus your dex divided by 6 is enough to pull some of the craziest of the crazy numbers up from the near 0 level to 0.1, 0.2 range. And that's probably what we'll do for this release, and then have a longer talk about it with you guys. Try to get something live next release for kind of a, not a reboot of Shield of Air, but somewhat distance. I'm trying to figure out what the guy here is doing, where he's jumping and doing the Mario, trying to do the Mario fly stuff on my screen. But one of the things I'm thinking of is it still does similar to what it does right now, where it turns, you take damage in the form of focus. But it may be that it takes, it splits damage between focus and health, so you take some, but it kind of, doubles your health. But then in addition to whatever we have it doing, where it stops a bunch of extra damage for you, because it is kind of the defense for people in cloth to a large extent, making it something so it also boosts ranged combat, light armor skills, magic skills. So making it something where it gives you, gives you a little more offensive power. And yes, I know it does give you some attunement right now, but having it do some more. But anyways, we will be looking at, we're not going to do it for this release. I'm trying to pull off as many Band-Aids as I can, as quick as I can in the first half of the year. As I've been pretty open about it, I know fixing some of these balance issues will drive a few players out of the game, which makes me sad. But it's something that I feel has to happen right now. There's just some things that are so broken in terms of balance that it leaves people no choice, and everybody has to play with them. And yes, people get very upset if you take some of those things away, but we just have to. And if it results in a few players leaving, hopefully they'll come back, they'll cool down and come back, or they'll adjust their strategies. We will, whatever we change, if we change a skill like that, we'll make sure you're not losing any experience. You can unlearn that skill and move it to other stuff to adjust if you don't like the new skill. But we just have to fix some of these balance issues. So many of them, it's been... we've been kind of held hostage because there's been people, anytime we talk about changing some of these really hard fixes, we do get that same pushback every time of, change it and I'll quit type stuff. Well, we can't leave the game in a semi-broken state where everyone has to be a Shield of Air archer who uses Ring of Fire to be competitive. We have to fix some of those things. Oh, and also in Banded Armor and some of these others. We've just got to fix some of those things, even though it will upset some people. So I will do our best, or my best, and I will also talk with you guys. I'm trying to not rush things out, give things at least a release or two to figure out some of these things. But anyways, a lot of that stuff is coming. I will try to make sure. Oh, somebody has a question they like. Oh, good question. But a lot of these things, some things got fixed this release. Again, some of the fixes this release, I'm trying to make sure and address issues between PvE and PvP separately, not make the two mingle too much. A lot of the fixes have been in for PvP this release to try and move that in the right direction. It seems like it moved in the right direction. It probably still has a ways to go for balance issues, but I think it's a lot closer. Again, we're getting there, and I'm trying to listen to you guys, but it's also, you guys have to understand that I have to listen to you guys, but I still have to make some hard decisions sometimes. Let's see. Mad Chef of Xenos, do I monitor which specs are least used? I usually do monitor which specs are least used. The primary thing I look at that I actually keep, I have a bunch of different windows and tabs and stuff open that I watch constantly. But watching what skills get used the most, what skills get used the least, is one of the big ones, and that kind of tells me where things are. So as you probably know, I mean, you can guess fire gets used a lot. Blades gets used a lot. I think that's largely because it's kind of a starter thing, but there's still a lot of blade users out there. Range gets used a ton. But yes, I do watch that stuff. I do need to go pull up and check the specs again after this release. I'll probably go and look and see, where people are at, because it is one of the things that is very telling. Sometimes people are picking specs though, just because it gives like one specific skill some cool feature, and they use that skill a lot. So it's not always people who are just trying to focus on one skill tree who use it. Sometimes it's really a specific thing. Okay, hold on. Let me pull up one more time, and then I'm going to do that drawing. Kathy888 says, please don't put in the hide character option if people want that option. Just unfriend players. For those who don't know, this is the option to basically be online, but not show up as online to other people. There have been some... This is one of those highly requested things. I know it's also a little bit controversial, because some people, they worry that if people can hide, it's going to look like there's fewer people online, and I want to see more people. If we have it, there'll probably be a couple of requirements. One will probably be that you have to be, it'll only work when you're in a pot. If you leave a pot, or a player on town, or a pot or PRT, that it will only work in those towns. So basically it's for the I want to be on, but I don't want the pressure to go do stuff. And that's kind of where I think the big thing is. There's a lot of people that when they get on, they immediately have their guild hammering them, saying, you got to come join our party, whatever. But that's kind of one of the big things. There's also some people that are trying to set up events or trying to do stuff, and they're getting harassed at events. There's a little bit of harassing, and we do have ways you can block people. But sometimes you just want to get on and chill. It's not I want to unfriend a bunch of people, or I want to do stuff. I just want to get on and just do some crafting or do some decorating of my house or whatever. And I don't want to be bothered. So if we have it, it will be limited. You will not be able to go to adventure zones and hide. The other thing is we're trying to look at stuff as we continue to move forward and try to make sure we're making things feel rewarding. That's one of the things that has been constantly requested, is add features that are only available to people who are subscribers, and then add extra subscriber tiers. So if we have this, it'll probably be something, because it is very much a convenience feature. If we have it, it'll probably be something that only someone who's a subscriber member can do. Let's see. And yes, I know it's a little bit of a touchy topic, but some people want it, some people do not want it. Let's see. Can we see a unique that has a specific PvP use that always drops if the holder dies in PvP? Ooh. That's an interesting idea. Who's got the baton type thing? Yeah, I mean, I like that idea. I don't know if I'm going to get around to that soon. I'm trying to get my most important thing for me for PvP is there's a couple things. One, some more stealth fixes, which are long overdue. And then also balance issues. So those are the two things I feel right now that are most important to PvP. So I'm trying to get those in now, and then I can look at some of those other options later. I'd love to get some more of the arena stuff going for kind of the fun PvP. The Obsidian stuff, I know Travis worked on a map for a bit for another Obsidian challenge PvP thing, but he's working on a episode 2, one of the important scenes in it right now, so it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Treasure Pile, can we get the Isle of Storms, the old starting area, to be more useful and not be a solo-only scene? I've actually mentioned this a few times. It's making this a new scene that's, part of a quest line or a storyline or something like that, so you can go there. For those who don't know, we pulled this out about 1.5 years ago, but you started off in the old one. You started off in this scene. It's called the Isle of Storms. You're basically on a floating rock, and you had to go around and make a lot of decisions and talk to some people and create your character appearance and wander around and read a book and talk to the Oracle and get out. And what we found was, in case people didn't know why that was pulled, what we found was it was a lot of time spent. It was, some players were spending up to 1.5 hours or 2 hours in there. It was a lot of time spent where you're 1 hour or 2 into the game before there's any real action or any real combat or anything other than just walking around and talking to people and reading. And what we saw was we were losing a lot of players in that first scene because it was a lot of non-action wandering around. And, you can imagine someone comes to the game and they're like, when am I ever going to fight? Am I ever going to be an actual adventurer? So it may have been one of those things that was good for people who are really deep into story and really like reading a lot, but that is not a very big audience. And we thought it was best to remove that, get players into action, and simplify what we teach them early on. And it actually did show a dramatic improvement in how many people stuck with the game by getting them, through things quicker. Just starting them off, now go type stuff. We don't teach as much as we were in the other ones, but that was the other things. We were kind of teaching a lot of stuff that wasn't that useful. But again, we pulled that scene. That scene does exist. I have gone back to it lately. We actually had someone who, I'm trying to remember how it happened. I think they started playing the game long ago. They created a character, but they stopped in Isle of Storms, or one of the people that stopped in Isle of Storms. And then we removed it. And then, 1 year later or whatever, they come back and log in, and they're still in Isle of Storms and in a pretty broken, bad state, as you might imagine. So, yeah, it is still there. I have been there recently, and yeah, I would love to make that into a scene. Just, it's not that big, really, so it wouldn't take that much time. Pivker, did something change in the last month or so about weapon durability? After a simple 2-minute battle, my bows, crafted arty, dropped by 20 to 30 durability, sometimes a max durability too. That could be bad luck. That's one of the things, if you turn on the verbose combat, you should get spam about artifact and crafted damage done to weapons, so you can see what happens. I can tell you one of the things we have in the game to minimize really data serialization and database traffic and all the other stuff is there is actually some random in there, because what we found was we were sending and the server was doing multiple tons of data commits and tons of work to manage people swinging. I swing my sword, and every hit we're taking off 0.01 durability or whatever. It's less than that, 0.001 or something. But to reduce that, we actually only do that. We do that check, but all we do is we do a random number check. Okay, you got a 1 in 100 chance to do 100 times as much damage to it. So you have a 1 in 100 chance to do 1 point of damage to your weapon. So that's one of those things where you could have gotten bad luck. Maybe you just weren't paying attention. That usually seems to be what's going on. But you can always turn on your verbose and see what's going on and see what's happening. But there's no change that I know of, and I'm really the only one who would change stuff. It's good, though, now that we have another programmer on the project who's the new guy, rather than Wizard Smoke, who's pretty much perfect with all of his code, and one and only who'd been taking a break. I didn't have anyone to blame anymore. Wizard Smoke doesn't touch any of the combat stuff. It's really me and one and only was taking a break. But now with David on the project, I've got another junior programmer I can blame everything on. But no, I don't think anything changed. Let me check a few more questions here, and then I'm going to do that last drawing. Z of Silverdale, can we get buyback option from vendors? That's one of the big ones we've had requested a number of times. And it is a lot harder than it seems. We've actually looked at it. There were some choices that were made that makes this harder than it should be. One of those is just how things work when you sell items. But yeah, it's a lot harder than it probably should be. And for those who don't know, there's some wonky stuff. When you sell items to vendors, there's some of the stuff gets saved and moved into other basically container type stuff, and our data doesn't get destroyed because it gets reused. If you sell crafted player items to vendors, a lot of that stuff ends up going back out to other players as loot that you can find on monsters. So that's one of those kind of neat things that occasionally I get, is people will tell me that they found an item crafted by somebody who's in game right now, and they're yelling at them on chat about it. Let's see. Trying to understand this one. Serpentwine asks, hey Atos, is it possible to have a second investment round to just move on item-wise from initial rounds? So actually we were just talking about this earlier. I mean, I was never a fan of for those who don't know, we did I'm thinking he's talking about like seed invest stuff. The micro investment stuff. It's one of those things I still get questions on, and I try to answer them as truthfully as possible. But where that sits is I've mentioned this a few times before, which is just and Richard said far more than probably you should. So, but we have, in case you're one of the people who did seed invest in the first round, the Catnip Games is my company. And I acquired all Shroud of the Avatar stuff from Portalarium. Portalarium is owned by VLPC. That's a New York banking firm. But the Seed Invest stuff, VLPC is responsible for it. They're supposed to be responding to the Seed Invest guys, but they're not going to have anything. I can tell you part of the deal with the acquisition of Shroud of the Avatar is there's some goals to meet, and when those goals are met, that we pay those guys, and they're supposed to be paying Seed Invest. So if you're a Seed Invest person, you're not, it's not lost. We just haven't hit any of the targets that we need to hit yet. We're not that far off, honestly. So that's something that I expect will probably happen in the next few years. So it's not totally dead or anything. It's just something that hasn't happened yet. But again, I can't give too many specifics. VLPC are the guys you have to talk to, or the Seed Invest guys. So I don't think I said anything I wasn't supposed to say there, or we haven't said before. But yeah, I would love to have, it's kind of one of those weird things, trying to figure out how to get investment money into the game, because it is kind of in a weird place. But really I would love to see some investment into the company. We'll see what happens here. I mean, you guys can tell me, but just the adding of 4 new people, I guess, over the past, I guess it's been a year. Between Elgarion, Elaney, Ravlox, and David. It's a struggle not to say his other name. But adding those guys, I think, has added a ton to the team. So I would love, if we got an investment, that is the type of thing that we would probably just expand the team. I've never been a secret keeper on stuff, and people on the team know all the financials and stuff, and when I can hire people, I hire people. Right now, actually, because we had a few good pay periods in a row, we were spending some money on advertising, so which is actually working. Yeah, I would love to get some investment again, just to bring in spend some money on ads, add a few more people to the team. Because really what we need right now, I think the next thing we probably need is another world builder. So we can start cranking through some of the episode 2 scenes. And right now, for designer side of things, we've got Beezus, Travis, Sanyo are the primary guys doing a lot of that stuff. Damon also doing stuff. But yeah, we could use at least one more guy to try and get caught up on some maps. But no, I have not really put a lot of thought into the second investment round, just because, again, they always seem to come with strings. And I would prefer to grow the game, make the game better and grow the game. Make that the way people can invest and give you guys things to spend money on if you're one of the super supporters of the game. as soon as you start getting into investment, that also comes with the assumed I have to, there's some amount that has to be paid back. You expect something out of the investment, but we'll see. Maybe there's something creative we can do where we can take some special, dead content and create some dead content for it. But it's tough to figure out how there are some of those things without making it so it hurts us in the long run. Slow processor. An appropriate question from Slow Processor: is development soon going to focus around optimization? Development is focusing on optimization right now. There's actually been some over the past few months that has made a dent in towns. This is not a crowded place, but you saw when we were here, easily holding 30 plus with 50-ish people around and horses and other stuff. Pots are one of the places where we run into problems. The two places we have performance problems right now from watching it, because I've been watching a lot closer because I'm trying to track down the NVIDIA RTX bug that only some people have, and I'm trying to see what circumstances surround it. But the two performance areas we have right now are large party, out fighting, and that is primarily UI is the thing slowing that down. We've got hired somebody pretty much specifically to address that. That's what David's going to be working on, as I mentioned earlier. And then the other one is how to deal with performance in super heavily decoed pots. And some of that we're doing now, and that has improved quite a bit. The overall last release, 2 releases ago or this release. No, it was 3 releases ago to 2 releases ago. The frame rate, some of those changes I made a bunch of performance optimizations, improved some of what gets crunched, like when you have bad performance. The average frame rate throughout the game with that, plus some occlusion building and some stuff, actually went up 4 frames a second. That's like just, if you look at every frame rate in the entire game, that varies a lot though. But pots are still the places where you can get into trouble just because, a lot of people want to build like their pot and want to have like just huge everything all crammed together, and how many row lots can we fit in there, because I want to fit as many people in there as we can. I've actually commented before on Iron Hall for being one of the ones that coming to it that I actually really like a lot of the stuff they do in their layout, because they break it up into chunks rather than having it all like in one super tight area. They actually break things up into little areas of concentrated people, but they keep that pretty small, so you got like the welcome area over here, and it runs great compared to some of the others. But again, a lot of it comes down to lighting. It comes down to just how many... What? Oh, I got dev only bug. Yeah, the performance for pots, for some pots, if they're very heavily decorated and they're all pretty dense. Again, I try to make that stuff work as much as I can and improve the performance of it. There's still more work to be done. We've got, really, it's, if you're a game dev, you probably can identify some of the things. We just have a million different items that you can have as decorations. Most of them can't be atlased, which means that atlasing is where you take a bunch of textures and put them into one texture page. So we do what we can, but there's really just a lot of stuff you can look around and see. Just so many different items and unique things. We have a lot of things with VFX, and we do, a lot of culling for distance stuff. But again, it all piles up, and some of it is just in some of these towns. There's 200,000 items in the town that are placed as decos. So you can imagine us trying to manage the 200,000 dynamic deco objects. It's not a matter of like drawing or not drawing. It's the actual figuring out, do we draw or not draw stuff, that can become a burden for handling that many type of things. So, but anyways, we continue to make performance improvements. We're probably 10 frames a second over where we were 6 months ago. The combat thing is the next big one to go in. Right now, the bugaboo that I have that I'm not sure, the the best next steps to try and repro it without getting some player help is the stupid RTX thing, where some NVIDIA RTX cards are having some slowdowns. But anyways, guys, I'm 42 minutes past where I said I'd be doing my drawings. Let's do that drawing. If you haven't done it, you can do prizing or the raffle. Let's see. The Lacedonian has which is better, crossbow of accuracy from a yellow supply bundle or a crafted Zen bow? I'm gonna say I don't know for sure. If you don't know the crossbow of accuracy, I know it's popular with a lot of PvPers because it's one of those that can charge up really high. Is there a mailbox around here? Anybody see a mailbox? It can charge up really high, so you can get some really slow but really big stuff. So it's one of those that's popular for PvPers who are trying to get one-shot kills in on people. I would guess the Zen bow is higher DPS overall, but the crossbow of accuracy is, again, it's one of those I think was underestimated for a long time. There is done. No, I've already looked and seen the problem with the bolt for the Chaos Demon. I'll have that fixed for the patch. It will be improved. It will scale. I'm not going to claim it's going to be knocking your socks off with its DPS, but it will definitely be. It's definitely broken now. All right, I'm going to do a prizing thing. Let me tell Thoric goodbye. Thanks for having me. Going to be bailing soon. If I can type. But I think the event's going pretty well. They're still doing some fishing stuff that will be going on. And thank you, Thoric, for all the support of the game. And yes, fishing contest is going on. But I'm going to do one prizing in here, and then I'm going to bail for the day and go spend some time with my amazing, not 6, but 7 years old. 16.6% better than 6-year-old. All right, closing the giveaway. You ready? Gaylorn hammer throw. Can we fish with nets to catch more than one fish at a time? Would that be interesting to have a special fishing thing that was like maybe a consumable net, so you pay more up front, but you have a chance to catch more fish? Yeah, that's an interesting idea. All right, picking a winner. Here we go. You guys ready? Bam. Old Sup, you have won. Congratulations, Old Sup. You are Old Sup in game because I summoned you earlier. So congratulations. Oh, but spoilers, I'm giving away 2. He only gets 1. There's 1 more. So Old Sup's getting 1. And also, if you're curious if you left the stream or somebody left the stream and they win, I'll just send it to them. I'm trying to send them. If I have their name, I'll send it to them. Old Sup, I'm sending it to Old Sup. That's 1. The second one is going to Seth Aiva. Seth, if your name is Seth space Aiva, I will be sending you this. If not, you're probably going to have to speak up and tell me your name. Oh, looks like you're here. Hey, all right, that's what I like seeing. Okay, I'm going to be mailing you guys your things. Let me zone over to my mailbox, and I will be doing that. Guys, let me find somebody to raid. Thank you so much for joining me on a Saturday? It's a Saturday, right? The whole working from home. I'm sure there's other people out there who are in the same boat of my wife and I both have worked from home. I've worked from home for 2 years, but you lose track of what day of the week it is frequently. So, as I get up and I work in the morning, and then I spend time in the afternoon with the wife and daughter, and that's pretty much my day every day, 7 days a week. So, but let me find somebody to rage, and then I'm going to be sending you guys off to those guys. Let's see who's out there streaming right now. Oh, we only got a couple, so that's good. Skeggy and Serpentwine. Both awesome. Actually, I know Skeggy's awesome. Serpentwine, so I know the name. I'm trying to think. Let's see how many people he has. He has 90 followers, so he could definitely use some more followers. But he's just sitting on a roof right now. Come on, man. Gotta get off the roof. He's at least in the zone, but I don't think you want to sit and watch him smoke, so we'll see. It doesn't seem like he's moving. Oh, he's emote only chat. No, we like to have people chat. Serpentwine, change that chat and I'll get you next time, okay, bud? Which means we are going to be going to Skeggy. Long time. Awesome guy. Alright, Skeggy, you ready for us? I hope so. We're coming your way. But guys, again, thank you so much. Be safe out there. Have a great rest of the Saturday. Hope your basketball team wins in March Madness if you have a fan or one that you're cheering for. I'm cheering for Baylor. They're a #1 seed, but they're not that good. My parents live in Waco, and I spend a lot of time in Waco. But I'm cheering for them. And, of course, Longhorns. I don't think I have any others really that I'm cheering for right now, except for maybe some of the underdogs that are upsetting people. But anyways, enjoy your weekend. I hope it's amazing. Good luck with the fishing, guys, and I will see you on next Friday, if not before then. Talk to you later. Let's go raid Skeggy.